Okay, to go ahead for the presentation is just this one. Oh, you have to. Perfect. Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure for us as a national agency, Erasmus INDIRE here in Italy, to be here to contribute in a way to this 60th edition of the conference, The Future of Education. And it's a pleasure to be with so many people who are in different ways shaping for how university, schools, and lifelong learning system will look in the year to come. When people say that hear the word Erasmus, they often think of student mobility. They think of young people spending a semester abroad, discovering new cultures, learning new languages, and developing international friendship. And if, of course, these remain the greatest strengths of the program Erasmus, but today is much more than a mobility scheme. Over the last decades, it has evolved into one of the most powerful instruments supporting the modernization of education system, the internationalization of universities, digital transformation, and cooperation at a global scale. Why we say beyond boundaries? We are not only talking about geographical borders. Although this is, of course, the most visible dimension of Erasmus+, we are also talking about boundaries between disciplines, between institutions, between digital and physical learning, and even between countries that are part of the European Union and those that are not. In the next 15 minutes, more or less, I'd like to take you in a very short journey through 4 stops. First of all, I just want to give you a very short overview of the Erasmus and what we are talking about. Second, the priorities that are guiding the program today, and one of its most ambitious recent innovations, the European Universities Initiative. Third, a topic that's becoming increasingly central is digitalization of higher education. And finally, a very, very quick overview about Italian figures. So Erasmus Plus, it's a story of success. I don't know if anybody here don't know about the Erasmus program. No? Okay. It's an European Union program dealing with mobilities and cooperation between institutions in 6 sectors: higher education, school education, vocational training, adult education, youth, and sport. This program period, 2021-2027, has a budget of almost more than 28 billion euros. That is the double of funding allocated in the previous program period. This significant investment from the European Union reflects the strategic importance that the European Union attributes to education, training, youth, and sport as driver of economic growth, social cohesion, and democratic participation. Since its launch in 1987, Erasmus has transformed the lives of millions of Europeans, and almost more than 16 million of participants have attended of at least one activity in the Erasmus program, such as mobility for study or traineeship, or projects to collaborate between schools, and so on. The ambition of the current program is even greater: to make international learning opportunities accessible to a much broader and more diverse population, while promoting the core priorities of inclusion, digital transformation, environmental sustainability, and active citizenship. And for the university, Erasmus has become an essential tool for internationalization, institutional development, and quality enhancement. What is Erasmus for higher education? Roughly, more or less, the 70%, maybe more, of the budget is used for mobility. It's dedicated to learning mobility. In other words, to giving students, teachers, researchers, and staff the chance to study, teach, and train or work in another country. The remaining 30% that supports cooperation projects and policy development, partnership between institutions, joint curricula, and systemic reforms. For higher education, especially, Erasmus allows students to study or do traineeship abroad for up to 12 months per cycle of study, bachelor, master's, and doctoral. and it has expanded well beyond the European Union's border. This program today covers all European Union member states, plus Iceland, Liechtenstein, Norway, North Macedonia, Serbia, and Turkey as fully associated countries, and it also funds mobility with partners countries worldwide. Erasmus is a structural part of higher education in Europe. Think internationalization, not an extra, but a core component of their strategy, their curricula, and their identity. And also is a European program. The program has been expanded far beyond Europe. Today's global challenges, climate change, artificial intelligence, migration, public health, social inequalities, cannot be addressed within national borders. They require collaboration at the global knowledge networks. And recognizing this reality, Erasmus has progressively expanded in international dimension. Today, universities from Europe cooperate with partners from virtually every region of the world through initiatives such as international credit mobility, Erasmus Mundus, and capacity building projects. These actions create opportunities for students, researchers, and academics, but they also contribute to curriculum development, research collaboration, knowledge exchange, and institutional modernization. They also promote mutual understanding, intercultural dialogue, and in this sense, Erasmus Plus acts as a powerful instrument of educational diplomacy. Let's now look very quickly at where the program is heading. Erasmus 2021-2027 is built around a set of cross-cutting priorities that apply to every sector: school education, vocational training, adult education, and of course, higher education. The first one is inclusion and diversity, the most important one, making sure mobility and cooperation reach students and institutions that traditionally participate less, including those with fewer opportunities, disabilities, or from disadvantaged backgrounds. The second one is digital transformation. I'll be back in a minute because I want to give you a little insight on what is digital transformation for higher education. Environmental sustainability and green transition is the third one, encouraging green forms of travel and embedding sustainability into curriculum and institutional practice. The picture you can see there is a guy from university doing a green travel with his bike. So he went from Turin to Lille because there was also a contribution, a green contribution, which allows people to move in a green way using a train or bicycle. The fourth priority is participation in democratic life, strengthening civic engagement, European values, and active citizenship. These four priorities are not only abstract slogans. They are criteria that shape how projects are designed, evaluated, and funded. And they convert very clearly in one of the most significant innovations of this programming period of higher education, the European Universities Initiative. What is it? The idea, first proposed in 2017, is simple to state, but very ambitious to achieve, is to create deep long-term alliances between universities across Europe that go far beyond the typical exchange agreement. These alliances, we call them European Universities Alliances, develop joint governance structures, shared curricula, joint degrees, blended and virtual mobility, and a European student experience that is concrete and continuous. As of early 2025, the initiative includes 73 alliances, bringing together more than 650 European higher education institutions, and also almost 2,200 associated partners, business, local authorities, NGOs, and other organizations that connect higher education with our wider community. And these, you can see, are the three building blocks of these alliances: long-term strategies that links research and innovation, European inter-university campus, students, doctoral candidates, and staff can benefit from seamless mobility opportunities, a European inter-university campus, knowledge-creating teams of students and academics can work together with researchers. And the funding, it's through Erasmus calls for proposal every 2 years, and the support is quite high. Now, let's have a look to this second priority, the digital transformation in higher education. One of the most important developments in recent years has been the digital transformation of Erasmus+. Anyone who has managed international mobility programs knows that administrative procedures can often be complex, time-consuming, and burdensome. Students and institutions alike have traditionally had to deal with large amounts of paperwork, multiple signature, and fragmented information systems. To address this challenge, the European Commission launched the Erasmus Student Card Initiative, a flagship project designed to create a seamless digital experience for mobility participants. The initiative aims to simplify administrative procedure and improve the overall mobility and the quality of mobility itself by connecting institutions through interoperable digital services. At the heart of this transformation lies the concept of a digital Erasmus ecosystem for students and institutions. And of course, we have started this procedure in 2021. The procedure is not so easy. It's very, very complex to let institutions work together and build a common ground, from technical and administrative point of view. But it's an ambitious objective that the European Commission is very, very proud to sustain. And this Erasmus Student Card Initiative is composed by different items, these different components. The first is being part of Erasmus Without Paper network, and so agree to be active in this transformation. The online learning agreement for students, but also the interinstitutional agreement made digital, and the European Student Identifier and Card, which is a digital identity for facilitating access to service before, during, and after the mobility of people. The objective is simple but transformative, making mobility easier, more accessible, and more user-friendly. Importantly, digitalization in this sense is not an end in itself. Technology only creates value when it improves people's experiences. The real objective, of course, is to remove barriers and allow students and institutions to focus on learning, on cooperation and personal development rather than administrative procedures. And in INDIRE, supporting Italian university through this digital transition has been one of our most important operational priorities in recent years, because this digitalization, it allows mobility to scale, to become more inclusive, and to be more sustainable. Let me close this digital focus on other two important tools. The first one is the online language support. It's a free online platform hosted by the EU Academy that provides language assessment tests, and full learning courses to all Erasmus participants, students, trainees, and staff before and during their time abroad. It covers 29 languages, and it's a community with native speaking community manager supporting learners in each of them, of the 29 languages. Of course, the language barrier is one of the most frequently cited obstacle to participation in Erasmus mobility, so it's important to remove this barrier. Last one is the possibility to do blended mobility. What is blended mobility in Erasmus? It combines virtual and collaborative mobility. Students from different countries can work together online with a short physical mobility period of between 5 and 30 days. The result is an international experience that is shorter, more accessible, and more affordable than a traditional semester abroad. The most prominent expression of this model is the blended intensive program, so-called BIP, a short intensive course jointly designed by at least 3 higher education institutions in 3 different countries, which must award a minimum of 3 ACTS credits. Tips are very, very particularly powerful for reaching students who, for financial or family or other reason, cannot commit to a full semester abroad. First generation university students, students with the caring responsibilities, students with disability. In this sense, blended mobility isn't just a pedagogical innovation, it's an inclusion tool. I conclude with this figure from Italy. These are some figures from the 2025 report. And we can say that in Italy, we allocated in 2025 272 million euros across all the three sectors INDIRE is dealing with: school education, higher education, and adult education sector. And this came with more than 2,600 projects approved and an increase of participation of 21% compared to the previous year. And for higher education, numbers are in continuous growing. For example, the mobility of students, the almost 48,000 students, Italian students, went abroad, and more or less 40,000 European students came in Italy, which made Italy the second most requested Erasmus destination in Europe. And for the future, we are approaching the 40th birthday of Erasmus. So next year, in 2027, we are preparing a very big party. We invite you all to attend and to celebrate with us. And to celebrate, another point important for us is that in 2027, United Kingdom and Switzerland will be joining the program. So there will be more opportunities for students and staff, a stronger connection between university and the shared future field of knowledge to get together. So thank you very much. I hope I illustrate how Erasmus can contribute to overcome not only borders, but only other kind of boundaries, so called. Thank you.